Hey FamDamily, it's just me today, and I want to get straight into it. So those of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen a post last week about anxiety, and I want to talk a little bit more about that today. I don't want to talk about it, but I know that I need to. I know I want people to know about this, not for sympathy, but so that I can be more transparent and also come to terms a little bit better with my reality. Now, this is hard for me, and I've written down what I want to say, so I'm just gonna read that, so bear with me. So I have an anxiety disorder. I know in a previous video I said I don't have any illnesses, but that's not entirely true. What I meant by that was I don't have any chronic illnesses like my husband does, and by that I mean that I don't have a primarily and originally physical disorder or illness. At the same time, that doesn't mean that I don't experience physical symptoms because of my disorder. I do experience them every day. And anxiety disorders can be chronic, and I don't know if mine is. I pray that it isn't, but that's something that we'll probably find out later down the line. So 6 months ago, my husband was diagnosed with gastroparesis, and I'm not going to go into detail with that because we have spoken about it in previous videos. And so while we were happy to finally have an answer to, after months of tests and scopes and being in and out of the hospital, this diagnosis gave us quite a blow. We had already known that his diabetes would hold us back from some things in life, and that life wouldn't be easy, but we were hoping and praying really hard that whatever these complications were, they would be curable. From the moment we got the diagnosis and it was explained to us, we've been broken. We feel that brokenness every day. What we saw and wanted our lives to be was broken in an instant, and accepting that that will never change is the hardest thing. And now there's this empty feeling because we don't know what we can realistically desire anymore. Besides just getting through each day without asking the question, do we need to go to the hospital? We really have no goals, no dreams, nothing. And it feels weird and wrong. Like, what am I living for? I mean, is it wrong to ask that? My first response when I feel that way is God. God has his sovereign plan that somehow our suffering fits into, and it's not that I don't trust him or his goodness, because I have definitely felt and experienced that goodness. But it's hard to live that. It can be really hard. I also just want to take this opportunity to just appreciate my husband. He is so hardworking and amazing, even though he never feels amazing. He's gone to work at least 12 hours every day, 6 hours every second Saturday. Yes, he complains, but not nearly as much as he's entitled to. And I know that he'll keep working and pushing on as hard, as long as he possibly can. And I couldn't be prouder of him for all that he does, despite feeling like death, as he puts it. So in my Instagram posts, I also mentioned it being hard to plan ahead. It's hard not only because we don't know how Damon is going to feel and what he'll be up for on any given day, but also because even if he starts out feeling fine, that can change in an instant, and that's hard. And it's not just the physical illness that's felt, but it's missing out on an event, whether we miss a chunk of it because we're dealing with something with Damon, or we just have to leave. Right now, the only definite things that we have on our calendar are a checkup next week, a gastroenterologist appointment in November, and my brother's wedding in December. Now, Damon and I are both in the wedding party, and I'm terrified that he'll have a bad health day on that day, or that he'll have a low, his blood sugar will drop during the ceremony. I'm planning on filling his pockets with jelly beans or something for that. But even if he does have a good day health-wise, and his blood sugar stays stable, I know he still won't be feeling great, because he never does. And I just want to protect him from that. live with this feeling of impending doom because I know there will be plenty more trips to the emergency room and late nights and early mornings praying that Damon would be able to come back to bed and sleep it off. And any noise through the night, any time he rolls over, wakes me up because I'm just worried that tonight will be the next one. We have control over so few things in our lives right now that small things like there not being hot water for a shower can become the biggest deal because it just feels like nothing is going right. My parents always taught us that we are still in control of our own reactions and responses, and I know that that has helped me, but it's still hard when it just feels like so much is against you. I have this constant fist-sized knot in my chest, and I feel exhausted even though I've intentionally done absolutely nothing excessive for months. I used to have a great memory, and now I'm just forgetful. Forgetfulness is so bad that I don't even remember to express my interest in people that I interact with. And if I've done that to you, if I've seemed rude to you in the last couple months, I'm really sorry. It was really not intentional. My brain just forgets so easily now. And something else my parents taught me was that forgetting is a sin, and I know that that has to do with laziness. So there's this battle going on in my mind because I really feel like I can't help this forgetfulness, and it's getting hard to distinguish between the forgetfulness because of the disorder and laziness, because I really don't feel like I'm being lazy. So I also get these random headaches. They come for a minute or less and go away, just random, like on the side of my head. I also have palpitations quite often, every day. And I find myself needing to keep busy in order to distract myself, either from my symptoms or Damon's symptoms or unhealthy and negative thoughts that I have. But anything that requires too much mindfulness, I just find that I don't have the energy for. So that's why I haven't read anything in the last 6 months, and also why I stopped learning Japanese. I still want to read, I still want to learn Japanese, but right now I just can't. And that's hard. It's also why I've come to love my job more in the last few months. My job takes mental engagement, but that engagement isn't strenuous, if that makes sense. And I just find that that's been a really great distraction for me. And I also just work with some awesome people, just by the way. And when I am distracting myself, I usually need multiple things going on. So if I'm doing something physical, like cleaning or cooking, I find that I need music or an audiobook playing in the background. And when I watch series, I find myself needing something more, or I get restless. So something like coloring or playing a game on my phone as I watch. And then there's panic attacks. I don't know that I'd call them scary, but they are very intense. And I think panic attacks are different for different people. So I get very restless, a little bit shaky, and I start crying and hyperventilating. And no matter where I am, I just need to be down. I just need to sit down, wherever it is. And my face and my hands, sometimes even my arms, go tingly numb. It's a very weird sensation. And I used to think that these kinds of attacks were attention-seeking ploys. But now that I've experienced them both by myself and with my husband, I get it and I'm sorry. So constantly distracting myself, I know, isn't healthy because there are real things that I need to deal with, not just suppress all the time. The thing is that when I try to process things or think about the future for more than 10 seconds, I have a panic attack, or at least there's enough of a discernible trend. So that's something you can be praying about for us, is that we would just be able to face our reality in a healthy and in a God-honoring way. It can be very hard, but we do appreciate your prayers for that. And I'm sure we'll be posting more about mental illness sometime in the future because there is a lot more out of it than we realize. And I used to be unsure of mental illnesses, not that I doubted their existence, but I was just skeptical about a lot of stuff. But a mental illness is an illness nonetheless, and it is not something that can be gotten over in a week or that can be slept off. If it was, I would have gotten over this a long time ago. And we don't want to feel like this. No one wants to feel like this. It's really not pleasant. And we can't control all of this. There's no instant fix. Some days are better than others, and yes, we can control our responses. But this life is hard. It's just hard. If you'd like some more insights into the minds and lives of people suffering with these things and how you could possibly help us, please follow my friend and my sister's Instagram page. It's called Insight Through Experience, and I'll link that below for you guys. Thank you for hearing my heart. It is not easy to talk about this, to admit it, and it makes me feel weak. But this really is how life is right now. We don't know where our lives are. We have no idea where they're going. And even though that's hard, we're trying really hard to trust God through all of it. Thanks, guys. So if you found this video helpful, or you just want to continue watching our journey as we figure out life as it is now, please like, share, and subscribe. And also have a look at our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook pages, which we will also link below. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Babe, I did it without crying.
Yay!